Hello, my dear friend. Uh, this actually, this video will have a background, bossa nova background music, copyright free, because I don't want, because, let's stay legal. um, this video is for my friend. It might not have to do much with NixOS, so you can freely skip it if you are just looking for some NixOS content. But it will have also with NixOS. So in short, this video is for you, my friend. She works in a pet shop. That's like a recent thing, and she wants to branch out into programming, or to just do something with computers. She's thinking long term, and I think that's great. And she should definitely try it if she likes it, if she wants to try. It's good to try things. It's good to try things for a bit, longer term than like 2 days. But some things are maybe enough after 2 days. But yeah, and she's my dear friend. And I guess in a way with this video, I'm practicing. Let's put some console. We want some stuff. Wait, ls. What do we have here? Who am I? Stable joy. Okay. No. What do I mean? Oh, you probably can see this also. Stable joy. Look. Yeah. Wait. Maybe like this. Who am I? Yeah. Stable joy. So yeah, in some sense, I'm practicing friendship like this. Okay, I'm joking a bit. She wants to branch out into programming, and maybe she was looking into databases. So I thought, I've been thinking, how to help her. I gave her some tips here and there. But then I thought maybe I could record myself, or maybe first I thought like maybe I could do something with her with the computer. Wait, I should like make a full screen. You see, there are all these things you have to learn when you do programming. But it's not just about commands. A lot of people think, okay, I have to learn commands. Yes, that's true, but the most important thing is to learn abstract thinking. So, to abstract things. If you see something that repeats, you abstract it. Right? If you do something 10 times, that's like the most basic. But if you do something 10 times, within a process, within let's say 20 steps, there are 5 steps that are repetitive. You kind of think how you would abstract them into one step, and that's like, I guess that's how I would say it in a simple terms, right? Now the problems get interesting, and you study the problems, and it's totally fine. You don't understand the thing, and first of all, when you start doing it, I think you see, wait a second, let's see, always right click and then choose the command, and that's it. No, that's a joke. There is wait, yeah, usually I don't put music with the videos, but maybe I will turn it off. I don't know, it was just like an intro, and I want it to be, no, don't eat this. I have my cat, she eats stuff she's not supposed to eat. Order, transform. Yeah, I think there is stretch to screen. Look at this, stretch to screen. Control S, Control D, Control F, Control S, Control D. I'm afraid to click it because I don't know if I will know how to. Control F. All right, it works, but it looks terrible. This is a horrible video. What's going on? No. How do I go back? This is the second lesson in programming. Once you do stuff and you break things, you will not know how to go back. Going back, it's important. Going back, it's important. And but how do you know how to go back? Because you can't just plan everything, right? But you have to know at least what was your previous step. So my previous step was right click And you see, maybe, whoa, how do I put this back? Okay, wait. You see, I'm sure no one will watch this video. Maybe even not my dear friend, because this is boring. Yeah. Or maybe it's not. Okay, wait. Flip horizontal. Rotate 180 degrees. We don't want that. Stretch the screen center vertically. No. Oh, I can do this. Wonderful. Look at this. All right. I have to set my face. Okay. Oh, you see, you can even drag. I couldn't do this before. I can do it now. Yeah, I want to put it on the right when you stream. Well, first I had it here down on the right, but sometimes you have more text here. So, oh, this is nice. I didn't know this. This is with KDE. If I circle the mouse, it gets bigger. Yeah. So, no, I thought I would have zoom in. I don't know how to have zoom in. All right. So, how do you program? Well, Nix shell, P, right? C matrix. Is it like this? And then you do C matrix, and now you're programming. No, that's a joke. Sorry, I had to do this. Exit. All right. This is probably I will lose all the subscribers that I had so far, at least doing the little tutorials. No. Okay, joke on a side. A bit of a, you know, comfortable atmosphere, but I'm like really. I think it's important that you're comfortable, right? With however little you can do. With however little you can do. And just to learn bits by bit and try to apply it. Okay, try to apply it. Try to, you know, take something from your life. And look, I have here Chat GPT. Definitely get Chat GPT. Okay, I work. Look at this. I work in a pet shop. And then I would like to learn something about databases. Now, how do I combine my wait, now I work in a pet shop, but then I would like to learn something about databases. Show me how to build. Well, you know, what's a database, right? You kind of working in a database. You know, you're like the Tron in the Tron, you know, the Tron movie where little programs really drive around in the computer and do stuff. That's what you are doing in the pet shop. Like a pet shop is a giant database. So is pet shop. So is a pet shop like a giant database? Yes, you can think of a pet shop as a kind of a living database. In a database, information is stored in an organized way to make it easy to manage, search, and update. Similar, am I recording at all? I'm recording. It's 9 minutes and I haven't done anything. Horrible. No. Similarly, in a pet shop, you can keep track of various things like inventory, the stock of pet food, customers, information about regular customers, sales, suppliers. Now, I'm sure you know much better than, I mean, I buy stuff in a pet shop, right? For my cats, but you work there. So I guess sales, every transaction, suppliers, information about where the products come from. Maybe I should have called her in a Zoom talk and we do this together. Or maybe not, she's busy. You see, that's also a good idea, like to make some kind of like a podcast and you invite all the non-programmers who want to learn how to program. And me as myself are not even a programmer. I mean, I don't work as a programmer. I do bits here and there. But yeah, maybe that would be popular. When learning about databases, you'll encounter concepts like tables. So what are tables? These are like different sections of your shop: inventory, sales, and customers. Tables, but tables tables. They're not real, physical tables, but like a table, like a Google sheet. Queries. These help you ask specific questions from the database, like what's the total stock of a specific pet food? Like I remember when I came to her in a shop and she was setting like a shelf, and then she said I have to count or I have to add new stuff. Relationship, linking a sale to both the customer and the products they purchased. Okay, like when I came to the shop to see her, she was restocking the shelves. So how do we translate that concept to databases? So restocking the shelves, that's one of the things she does. So when your friend is restocking the shelves, it's like updating the inventory in a database. So let's break it down. All right. Imagine you have a database table called inventory. This table holds all the details about the products in the shop, like the item name, stock quantity, price, supplier, and more. Inventory table. So product ID 101, product name dog food, quantity 10, price 20, supplier A. So you probably have here more information that you need when you're restocking, and then you have to go. You yourself have to. You told me you had to go to the basement or whatever. What's the word? To get new shelves. I mean, how do we? Restocking. When she restocks the shelf, she's increasing the quantity of specific items. So this is similar to running an update query in a database to adjust the quantity. It's called update query because update query. Okay. In a database terms, it might look like this. Find the product you're restocking, update the quantity to reflect the new stock levels, adding 10 more units. If you translate that into SQL query, a language for interacting with databases, it might look like this. Update inventory, set quantity plus 10, where product ID 101. This query means find the product with ID 101, add 10 units to its existing stock. So restocking the shelves is like updating the database to reflect the current stock levels of product. Does that make sense? It does. Now listen, my dear friend who likes birds, not just birds. What I think would be helpful is you always apply what you learn to your life. No, you take examples from your life. And programming is kind of cool because, I mean, maybe this was just an idea and you sometimes run with ideas and maybe they work or maybe they don't work. You have no expectations. The important thing is you get things going. And also you can think about this while you're working in a pet shop, which is kind of cool. You can like meditate on SQL while you're working in a pet shop, which could make your working conditions a bit more comfortable and enjoyable. Maybe not on the outside, but on the inside, right? You could do some kind of a mental thing. And maybe this music, I think maybe you don't like it. It's too maybe I'll stop it. Let's stop it. All right? Maybe it's better like this. Okay. But you know one more thing. Okay, let's stop the music, right? So because anyway you can put something if you like. So this query means find a product with ID 101 dog food and then add 10 units to his existing stock. So restocking the shelves is like updating the database to reflect the current stock. Okay, that makes sense. I'm sure this makes sense to her, I think. That makes sense. But let's actually do that. Like, I'm on Nixos. Can we create a simple database and call it a pet shop and do a simple update operation? Since you're in Nixos, we can use SQLite for a simple database. SQLite is lightweight and doesn't require setting up a server, making it ideal for small-scale projects like this. So yeah, it's a server, right? Probably like a pet shop might have they might have like a database. A database. Probably a pet shop will have a database. No, I will not go there. Privacy protection. uh, but a pet shop might have a database. Yeah, right. So SQLite doesn't require a server, so you can run it locally and practice. If you made like a website on a server, then you would need a SQL. Then you need like a database that would run on a server. Maybe this is not so clear. Install SQLite. Open a terminal, install SQLite. Well, I'm not gonna use this. Well, let's install it. Wait a second. Let's try with Nixshell. Nixshell P SQLite. Well, you have Windows. She has Windows, but I have Nixos. So this is yeah. All right. So we have SQLite. SQLite you have also on Windows. Create a new SQLite database. Let's create a database called PetShopDB. So DB is an extension. So, and you would just write, okay, SQLite 3. It's just called 3. I think that's just a name. And PetShopDB. Right? PetShopDB. SQLite version, enter help for usage hints. So let's do help. All right. Look at this. Expert archive, manage a SQL archive, show authorizer callbacks, backup DB to file, stop after hitting an error, CD, change the working directory, clone. Okay, well, you don't have to learn all this stuff, you know, you can just go through it a bit, just eat it, but you don't need all this. This is just, you know, you should go slow as you need things. So, okay, we created our database where you can start executing SQL commands. Oh, we are inside, I think. Are we inside? Create an inventory table. Inside the ls. No, nothing. Okay. We are inside. Create an inventory table. Inside the SQLite prompt, create a table for the pet shop's inventory with the following SQL command. Now look, this all stuff looks very manual, and I'm sure if you get a job yeah, I mean, if you get a job doing this, you would already have a database in place and maybe like a graphical interface and stuff. But it's important to just a little see how these things work, you know, below the craft, below the whole shebang. I don't know how to call it. To see, but let's try this. Create an inventory table. So these are some of the commands. Create. So there is a SQL language and there are some of the commands, right? I think that's different. So wait, there is, so, and also learn how to interact with ChatGPT. So wait, there is a SQL language and SQL commands like create. Yes, exactly. SQL, structured query language, is the language used to communicate with databases With SQL, you can perform a wide variety of tasks such as creating tables, inserting data, updating records, deleting data, retrieving information. Here's a quick rundown. Create. Used to create new databases. Okay, create a new database called inventory. Insert. Used to add new rows. Into a table. So the tables are kind of like almost, you know, like Google Sheets. So tables are like not shoots, Google Sheets. Or any other spreadsheet where the rows and columns hold the data, but there are some important differences. Rows and columns, just like in spreadsheets, SQL table is structured with rows and columns. So just like a Google Sheet, right? If you go to Google Sheets, why am I writing sheets? Sheets, right? So you go to Google Sheets. And let's make a new one. Right, this is an untitled spreadsheet, right? So in some sense, people who work with sheets, with Google Sheets, they are kind of doing programming, right? Wait, rows and columns. Rows. Each row represents a single record or entry. For example, a row might represent a specific product. All right, so the whole row would be a single product. Okay, that's not clear now. And columns, each column represents a field or attribute. Okay, like product name, quantity, price. Differences, data integrity, data types. Each column has specific data type. Text, integer, date. The quantity column. Constraints can enforce constraints like not. Okay, relational data. SQL tables can be linked to each other, forming a relationship between different sets of data. All right. Okay, so, look at this. So this is interesting. Okay, let's stick with this, right? Look at this. Comparing Google Sheets to SQL tables. Google Sheets, dog food, quantity 10, price 20, supplier 8. And SQL table inventory. Create table in inventory, product ID, integer, primary key. Product name, text, quantity, integer, price, real, supplier, text. Insert into inventory, product name, quantity, price, supplier, values, dog food 10, 20, supplier. This is a lot of typing. Insert into inventory, product name, quantity, price, supplier, values, cat litter. In Google Sheets, you can manually add, edit, and view data. In SQL, you perform similar actions using SQL commands like insert, select, update, and delete, which gives you more power to automate and work with large datasets. Well, yeah. Let's set up a database inventory. Actually, let's continue. So we did that pet shop, created, let's move. Oh, no. Create the inventory again. Okay, drop table if exists. We can remove the old ones if it exists to avoid conflicts. Run this command, drop table if exists. Inventory. So how do you create table inventory? So like create table inventory. So I have to write all this, including the columns. Really? So what? I just do this. Product ID, integer. So these are like types, primary, key, auto increment. Product name, text, not null, quantity, integer, not null, price, real, not null, supplier, text. Also, this might look so like I don't want to do this. This is probably more automated. It's good to type these things out, especially when you're new and everything. So you go through this. It's a good practice, you know. It's a very good practice, and it will help. It will help. Even though it might seem like, why am I typing this? I just show me the gold. You know, you type these things, and you know it will help you in the future. I mean, it will help you now. Near ls syntax error. So these are things that will always happen. Ls create table inventory. Error here. Where is the error? This is horrible. Product ID, product name, quantity not null, price real, supplier text. What did I do wrong? I don't know. Or maybe the chat GPT. So the inventory, wait, but the chat GPT sometimes, you know, makes mistakes, which is fine. Let's see what it does. Drop the old table if it exists. Let's see, let's drop it, right? Drop table if exist. Inventory. All right. Create the table. Now create the table correctly without any extra characters. Copy code. Will this work? I just copied it now. Check if the table was created. So I press like a dot and tables. All right, inventory. You should see the inventory listed. So once the table is created, you can insert data using the following commands. So now you can already insert data. Insert into. But this is too much typing. Insert into. Inventory. And it's great when you run into mistakes like this, or roads that are just too hard. You learn a lot, you know. You learn a lot. Insert into inventory, product name, quantity, price, supplier, values, dog food, 10, 20 supplier A. Well, this looks boring, actually. View the data. Select from inventory. Ah, select star. Select star means, I think star is like a character that means just everything. From, let's see, inventory. Oh, look, we got here 1 dog food, 10, 20 supplier A. See, this was very manual, and you could be very bored from this, right? But we just made a simple database, right? And now you can add more. Like, how do we select? How do we add? Let's add more to dog food. So supplier A, 1 dog food, 10, 20 supplier 8, right? Okay, what could be next lesson? More complex queries. Oh, learn how to use where clauses, filters, and conditions to retrieve more specific data from your database. This is very nice. Like, you have all this in programming. It's just here. It might not look so glorious, but the basic stuff, I mean, the main stuff is here. Like lesson focus, retrieving data with this ChatGPT really. Get all products where the quantity is less than 10. Oh, select from inventory where quantity is less than 10. So we have 10 dog food if you look at here. Right? Oops. So we have dog food 10. Wait. Oh, I went out. How do I go back in? Pet shop DB. Okay. So what was values parser tables? We have our inventory. That's great. So select what? Select star. So select anything from inventory. Now, where what? Quantity is less than 10. Nothing. We got back absolutely nothing. What if we do select star from inventory where quantity is less than 5? Where quantity is 10. Let's see this. No, we're not. Okay, I'm stuck. I'm just gonna paste this. Looks like there was a small issue with your select. You're missing comparison in the where. So where has to have, where quantity 10. I should make equal where quantity is 10. You see? So much from my programming. How do I get out of this thing? Okay, how do I get out of? If you're stuck in prompt, it usually means that a command wasn't properly completed, such as missing a semicolon at the end. To get out, maybe I can just press semicolon And now I'm out because I didn't finish the command. So every command has to have a semicolon. Now we're getting somewhere. Select star from inventory where quantity equals 10, right? And then we get our dog food, right? That's cool. So if we did select star from inventory where quantity is 5, nothing. Yes. So you see, we just did a little bit of tables, right? What do you think? Do you like this? How long? 35 minutes. Well, 35 minutes. Yeah, but one thing what could be interesting for you is, you see, to get all these things working, you need to have SQLite, and I don't know how it works on Windows. So you probably have a different commands. One second. Okay. So this is how I learn basically. So you interact a bit with ChatGPT and you try stuff out on your computer and you go from here. Now, along with this, it would be nice if you watch like SQL introduction. What is SQL? The language that talks to databases. Lego people. Wow, this is nice.
Or Java. Now imagine regular Lego people need to access the files.
This is nice.
SQL is for. It's a language that communicates with databases. Welcome back to Glitch, your easy insights into bots, big data, and artificial intelligence. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. People call it SQL or SQL. In short, SQL is the name for a language that is used to communicate with databases that store your data. If you want to pull, edit, add information to a database, you can use the language of SQL to do that. But how does SQL work? Think of a database like a warehouse, data tables like filing cabinets, and data like files. This warehouse or database stores data. The warehouse database was built using coding languages like C++ or C or Java. Now imagine regular Lego people need to access the files. How do they do that? Option 1, you could have a storefront built to the warehouse so that customers can ask for files, add files, delete files. But essentially this means you are building something that takes a lot of time, money. In the real world, this is the equivalent of building a whole app just to access the files in the database. SQL comes in, which is the second option, SQL. This is like you hiring a specialized delivery translator. Her name is Sally SQL. She knows how to talk to the database, and she knows how to speak in the language of SQL. So if you learn to speak SQL, then you can ask her to get files for you. Okay, so how do you speak Sally's SQL language? Here are the requests you could make. If you're a Lego mayor, you want to know the name of your citizens, you'll ask Sally SQL, select name from Lego people. The request to select name, that column, from Lego people, which is the name of the table. Or if you're a Lego doctor and want to know the name of citizens that are higher than 3 centimeters, you would ask Sally SQL,
select name from Lego height, where centimeter is greater than 3.
She returned 2 Lego people, Sarah and Craig, because their centimeters is greater than 3, and she pulled from the name column within the table called Lego height. Or if you're a statistician and you want to know both the height and age combination of citizens, but this data is stored in 2 separate tables, here's what you'd say to Sally SQL. Not all tables are found together. Sally joined the two tables because what both two tables had in common, a names column. She was able to join the two, matching by the names in each table. But you can also do other things. You can add data. If you want to add Joe, who's age 12, or you can update data, make Joe 13. You can also delete Joe altogether. From creating tables to joining tables to altering tables, Sally SQL can do it all. So here are 3 things you need to remember about SQL. 1, SQL is the one language you probably should learn. If you are in business or marketing or sales or anything that you wouldn't normally
Stuff like that, right? You have a lot of stuff online. That was a very short tutorial. You have like long ones. Hi everyone, Kevin here. Look, step by step. So these are much better tutorials. Yeah, these are much better. People really try to do really cool stuff. Network Chuck. Yeah. And not me. Like this video what I made, it's not real. It's not really well made. Learn SQL fast. So, but wait, like if she gets a job, okay, if she gets a job as a database programmer, she probably won't be working with SQLite or even manually inputting, you know, like rows and columns, right? Exactly. If your friend becomes a database programmer, she will likely work with more robust database management systems, DBMS, and her job will go far beyond manually inputting rows and columns. So Postgres SQL, that's in a relational database. Microsoft, Oracle, automation and scripting. So instead of manually inputting data, a lot of the work would involve writing scripts to automate database tasks, inserting in and updating data. This would be done using SQL queries embedded in applications, batch scripts, automated processes, bulk data imports. Yes, a lot of the data, like let's say a lot of the data will not be just like a couple of words or, you know, names, but it will be embedded in a JSON file or XML file. These are all like text files, but they have a certain kind of structure to it, right? So, and CSV file, that's like when you export a Google Sheet or like Microsoft Excel, you export it, you save it as a CSV file, right? So sometimes you might, you know, bulk data imports are like a lot of the data will be imported. We just deleted like one row, like 10 cans of dog food, and this was so manual, and it was just like 10 cans, you know, but or 10 units. But these are bulk data imports, so you might like import a lot of the data. Data migration, moving large data sets between databases or systems using tools or scripts. Sometimes you have to move the data set or update it. Data modeling and design. Structuring the database. Now, planning tables, relationships, and normalizing data to avoid redundancy. Again, you want to repeat redundancy and repetition. Creating indexes. Indexing specific columns so that you improve the performance. I guess that's a whole another level of depth to it. Writing complex SQL queries to retrieve data efficiently, like, yeah, depending on how many users are using the database, right? It needs to be efficient. Now, as I said, that's a whole another game. It's not like our little small pet shop database where we have few rows and columns. Writing APIs, connecting databases to applications using APIs. So you might use a programming language to write the code that will interact with the database. Data security, DevOps, But okay, how do I use Python to, let's say, can we use Python to update our inventory, our SQLite inventory database with one more row? Or is that even possible? You can absolutely use Python. Python has an inbuilt-in library called SQLite 3 that makes it very easy to work with SQLite databases. So Python has its own library. A library is like a set of functions, right? So sometimes, like, you wanna program things, right? Let's say you have a team of people, and that team of people know what to do. So that's your library of functions. You see what I mean? Like, someone knows how to do this and someone knows how to do that, and you taught them, and somehow they know a lot of the commands already. And now you call that library, right? So let's say you do something, but you need, or to use a more practical example is, let's say you want to do math and you need to do some complex math, right? So instead of now programming the definitions and everything, right, so that you can use them, there is maybe a library for that complex math that you can use, and then you use it, right? Well, or the most basic example, let's say to square a number, right? That's a square function. So square some number gives you the square of that number. So square 2 gives you 4. But you don't have a square function. Let's say in Python, I think you don't have a square, or you have to program it. So imagine you have more complex functions that you will call externally from some library. So Python has a SQL library. Here's a basic Python script that connects to your SQLite database, inserts a new row into the inventory. So now we have to, save the file to a script. So do we have Python? Here's a basic Python script that connects you. Do we have Python? Quit. You see, I don't even know how to quit. Okay, we don't have Python. Do we have Python? The program Python is not in your path. So we don't have Python. All right. So let's do Nix shell, P, and Python. Python 3 or just Python? All right. So here's a basic Python script that connects to your SQL database, inserts a new row into the inventory. So now we'll use a programming language to simply insert that one row. This is very simple. This is like this. I mean, you will never. I think it's important to do this kind of basic examples. Now we need to open I'll open a text editor, and we have to write a Python script. So we call it a script py. So import SQLite 3. So at the beginning, we're going to import that library. So this part of code, right? This part of this import, it's a special command in Python And in the beginning of a file, you will import some kind of a library that you need. In this case, we need SQL functionality, so we will import SQLite 3. And so now we will connect. This is terrible. Connect to the SQL database. It will create the database file if it doesn't exist. So connection, all right. But now you see what we're doing. Now we're giving names to the commands we do, which is kind of new. And then later we can reuse those names and make new functions, right? So con, like as in connection, and this is just a random name. It's not like you have to name it con or connection. So, or like connect. Con, cur, create. Why is this con and cur? A cursor object to execute SQL commands. What's a cursor object? I don't know. Con and cursor. So you see, if you don't understand stuff, wait, just con and cursor object is confusing. What does that mean? Let's break down the concepts of con and cursor in the context of working with databases. Con, connection object. The connection object represents the connection between your Python program and the database. So it's like opening a door to the database, to our pet shop, so that you can send commands like insert, update, select, and retrieve results. Opening the connection in this line of code, con, SQLite connect pet shop. Okay, you're opening a connection. Committing transaction. Commit. Then closing connection. All right, and what's a cursor? Is what actually executes SQL commands in your database and retrieves results. It's like a middleman between your Python program and the database. Why is a cursor? Maybe like the mouse. After opening the connection with con, you create a cursor. The cursor, this is horrible, this mouse thing. What you'll use to execute. So the connection con knows which database you're working with, and the cursor handles the actual commands. If you want to insert, update, delete, or select data, you use the cursor execute. For example, cur execute and then SQL insert query new row data, fetching results. All right, so let's get back to our. So right, we are writing a script. So con SQLite 3 connect and to pet shop DB. So now create a cursor object to execute. Okay, con cursor. Right. SQL command to insert a new row. So we wanted to insert a new row into the inventory table. Values. Hamster wheel. Product name, quantity, price, supplier. SQL insert query. SQL insert query. Why are there 3 of these? Maybe because it's I see, it's like a text, like a quote. Insert into inventory. Insert into inventory. No. Product name, quantity, price, supplier, and then values. What are these, like placeholders? data for the new row. Now we get to the data. All right. So what's the data? New row data. What are we going to do? We have like a hamster wheel. Okay. 15 25.0 and supplier F. That's the name of the supplier. And now cur execute SQL insert query new row data. All right. Now commit the transaction. This saves, okay, this saves the changes in the database. Con commit. No, we don't have like a semicolon. And print the information. So just in case we are programming it to also print out row inserted successfully. Close the connection. Con close. So, okay, let's do this. Save the script to a file, for example, insert inventory py, script py. All right. So, we're going to save it. And look, we have pet shop DB and we have a script py. So it would have been better if I made like a directory. You see, once you start do things, you don't want to have like all your files and then some scripts. You make a directory, let's say mydb pet shop, I don't know, petdb. Well, it would be good like a project or like code, mkd code, and then maybe, well, let's for now call it code, right? And I'm going to move pet shop and script to code. So now it's not here anymore, but it's in code. So now I'm in code, and now I just have pet shop db and script py. So right. So now save the script to a file and run the script using Python from the terminal. So Python will interpret the script. So if I write Python and script, row inserted successfully. Check this out. So the Python ran the entire script, right? So Python ran. So Python ran this entire script. Can you believe that? And then printed this out. So let's see. Verify the new row. After running the Python script, you can check the database to ensure the row was inserted. You can go back to SQLite and run. So now let's go connected to a transient in memory database to open a persistent database. Wow, I don't know what this means. So when you do stuff like this, so you just, you can use ChatGPT for this. What does this mean? And I just paste in. It looks like you started SQL in memory mode. In memory database is temporary, only stored in RAM. So once you close the session, your data will be lost. It's great for testing, but if you want your data to persist, you'll need to work with a file-based SQLite database. To work with a persistent database file, exit the current session. So do we have the inventory? Oh, we don't have it anymore. Look, we lost it. You can exit the in-memory session by typing exit or pressing Control D, exit. Open a persistent database file. Reopen SQL and specify the name of the database file, pet shop you want to use or create. This will either open the existing pet shop DB or create a new one if it doesn't exist. Oh, let's exit and SQLite. Maybe it's in memory. Yes. So SQLite 3 pet shop DB. We had to exit and then SQLite and open a pet shop DB because I entered the SQLite and yeah. Does this make sense? So I just entered the program and it couldn't somehow fetch the pet shop DB. But now when I enter SQLite 3 pet shop DB, it can. Well, maybe it's not clear, but it's not important now. Check your tables. All right. So tables in the inventory. How do I wait? How do I see now if the Python really added the row? You can use you can use the following steps. Pet shop DB, yes it does. Tables, select all rows. Okay, we'll just select star from inventory. So so this is like selecting everything. And look, we have a hamster wheel, 1525 supplier, and we used Python. So this is how it's done, right? Assuming the table looks like this. Wait, there is more here. Optional debugging tip. All right. How long was this video? I don't want to make this too long. 1 hour. This is very long. All right. So maybe this is, I just try to help a bit with this. Maybe it's helpful. So how do you start with SQL and like how do you learn? And yeah, that's about it. I made this video for my friend and bye-bye.